Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. We have a new show for you this week. Thank you very much for coming to speak of Africa. We thank you because you're really making our day. When we started the show, we did not have any subscribers, any viewers. We're amateurs, but you guys are making it happen. We created this show because we wanted to give you a voice. And we're happy because you are watching the show, you are sharing the show with your friends, and we can see the numbers increase every day. This week too, we have a new show for you. As usual, we don't just cover the news. What we do, we watch the news, we receive a lot of content from you. You guys send us a lot of content. You send us videos, you send us pictures. Based on what you send to us, we formulate a theme for the show. For the show of today, when we look at what you sent to us, most of you are talking about the dream of United States of Africa. Is it ever going to be a dream or will it become a reality? Some of the stuff you sent to us, I even saw videos of Kwame Nkrumah, Osajifo. You talk about we need another savior like Kwame Nkrumah. We need a messiah who can lead us so that we can have a United States of Africa. Yeah, most of you are thinking that if we have a United States of Africa, it will be a lot easier for Africa to handle its problems. So that's what most of you have been telling me. Okay? So that is a dominant theme when we look at the news headlines. Second, there is a lot of focus on the Italy-Africa summit that took place last week in Italy. You remember the United States held an Africa summit. Russia also held an Africa summit. So now it's fashionable. Japan did the same. Almost every country that wants to have influence in Africa will come up with an Africa summit. A lot of times, what is happening in this summit is not just to do something that is good for Africa, but they try to frame it as if they want to do something special for Africa. This time, Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, was the host of the Italy-African Summit. So she came up with a plan. Giorgia Meloni, the PM of Italy, is saying that she's not looking for charity. She expects to have a form of partnership with African countries. She has experience, because as you know, when people leave sub-Saharan Africa moving north, the first transit point they get to in Europe is Italy. From Italy, they go to other places such as France, Spain, and so forth. So Italy has been facing a whole lot of problems with African migration. And Italy has been trying to do much to stem the tide of this migration. In fact, confrontations have taken place between Emmanuel Macron and Giorgia Meloni of Italy. Giorgia Meloni of Italy has been accusing Emmanuel Macron as responsible for the plight of Africans. So that's why you have economic refugees. People are leaving Africa to Europe in search of greener pastures. Most of these people cannot feed themselves in their countries. They are looking for a better life in Europe. So Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, is saying that the purpose of this conference is to reset relations between Italy and Africa. Things are going to be different. She's going to focus on economic ties. Africa is going to do business with Italy. On paper, it sounds very good. And she's willing to commit probably 3 million euros to this task. So let's see how this is going to work out. But this is one of the major headlines we see in the news of the week. Because we really worry about our people in Africa. We don't like our people to be leaving the motherland, traveling in search of greener pastures, because we look at this as a form of brain drain. How can we stem the tide of this brain drain? Is by having better policies. We repeat this all the time in every video. We need better policies. We need to birth a new nation. Most of you guys are telling me the United States of Africa. We need this if we're going to avoid a lot of the problems that we face today. You guys have done that. The video you sent to me of Patrice Lumumba, you're asking me, what would have been if Patrice Emery Lumumba had stayed as Prime Minister of the Congo? If he were not assassinated in 1961, what would the Congo DRC be like today? So you guys look back in anger and you keep asking these questions. The solution to Africa's problems is unity. If you have a United States of Africa, countries like China, Russia, the United States will not be taking advantage of Africa. And you guys were also really concerned. You were even critical of the United States. Most of you were telling me the United States is responsible for a lot of the problems we face in Africa. The United States killed Patrice Emery Lumumba. The United States was instrumental in the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. We have many videos that you sent to us to really explain what many people don't know about the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. The United States orchestrated everything from the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. We've gotten a lot of information for those who don't know about the CIA. The CIA stands for Central Intelligence Agency. It is an arm of the US government which collects information. It's a spy agency. It's very, very powerful. It collects information. It works with the Pentagon. The Pentagon is just like prostitution. They collect all this information, then they rip Africa apart, steal Africa's resources. Okay? So we want to draw attention to the CIA. For those who have never heard about this organization, we want you to focus on the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. You see what it does. It does a lot of dirty work. It's a spy agency. It operates mostly abroad. Sometimes some people confuse the CIA with the FBI. The FBI is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. While the CIA is external, the FBI is internal. The FBI focuses on investigations within the United States. By contrast, the CIA operates stealthily abroad. They do all their dirty work abroad. They have soldiers, they have operatives, they have spies, all type of bad guys who do dirty things in Africa for the interests of the United States. We cannot blame America, as I keep telling you guys. America is doing what is good for America. America is serving American interests. It is a shame that Africans do not know how to serve their own interests. Consciousness, so that you start knowing that it is a good idea to serve your country. That's the purpose of this show. We want you to grow in your level of perception, in the way you see the world, in your way of reasoning, so that you should not just be worrying about food and shelter. You should worry about self-actualization. That's the purpose of this show. Okay? So without further ado, the next news headline, which we're going to deal with today, is the AFCON 2023, African Football Club. Okay? That's what is really happening. AFCON is big. People are talking about AFCON. So much ado about nothing. We look at it just like a distraction. AFCON is taking place in Ivory Coast. Anthony Blinken is on a tour of Africa. He stole the show. He said, okay, I'm coming to AFCON. But his goal is not just to enjoy this match. His goal is to steal stuff from Africa and bring to America. So understand this. He's there not just to enjoy the game of football or soccer. He's there to do good things for his country. So this is something I want you to know. You have to learn as Africans. America does what is good for America. So Africans should do what is good for Africa, by contrast. That's what we expect of you. So when we start with the AFCON games, Cameroon, La République du Cameroon, the guys love soccer so much. football is a national pastime. Since 1982, Cameroon always wins, but this time they were facing the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and things were not pretty. We have pictures. You see the way Cameroonians celebrate when the match AFCON is going on. Take a look at this video. You see what Cameroonians do when they celebrate AFCON matches. Unfortunately for them, the news from AFCON in Cameroon this year is a disappointment. The Indomitable Lions were not lions. They were chickens. They were routed out by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I've heard so many stories of tales that, oh, Nigeria did a lot of witchcraft. They went here, they did this, now medicine, now this and that. Cameroon lost. Nigeria won 2-0. It was a big, big disappointment, but great victory for Nigeria. So the people of Ambazonia were really celebrating Nigeria's win. So they were just happy that Nigeria defeated La République du Cameroon. So in Ambazonia, it was really a celebration. They were really happy with Nigeria, and they were laughing, mocking their opponent Cameroon. So that's what was really happening. And the interesting thing too is the flag of Ambazonia was flying high when the teams were mentioned. Cameroon, instead of showing the Cameroon flag, which is supposed to be green, red, and yellow with one star, instead they were flying the flag of Ambazonia. So Ambazonia had a big victory at this AFCON 2023 in Ivory Coast. So Cameroon was not happy. Their government had to summon the French authorities because TV5, which is a major news organ in France, which was featuring this tournament, they were making a mistake. Instead of putting the Cameroon flag, they put the Ambazonian flag when they mentioned Cameroon. So this is not really funny. The Cameroon government is really angry. So this is going to affect Cameroon-France relations for a very long time. As you know, Cameroon has been crushing the people of Ambazonia, and France has been supporting Cameroon. As a turn of events, it looks like Emmanuel Macron is not really happy with Paul Biya's overtures to other countries like China. As you can see, Cameroon is now turning to China for a lot of assistance, even military assistance. Cameroon is also turning to Russia for a lot of military assistance. So France has been seeing Russia take over a lot of the colonies. The former colonies of France are now friends of Russia. France doesn't like this, and France is worried that Cameroon is going to be next. Cameroon is going to fall into the arms of Russia. That's what's going to happen. You see, the Central African Republic is already in the Russian orbit. So Paul Biya may be old, but it looks like he's really making moves away from France. So Emmanuel Macron does not like this. When the flag incident happened, that was a serious fiasco, okay? That was a serious fiasco. And we know Cameroonians are not happy to see this. But Ambazonians are very gleeful. They are gleeful. it was like a mistake ordained by God to fly the flag of Ambazonia during the AFCON match. TV5 is a big channel. So Ambazonia got so much publicity, I don't think Ambazonia would ever get such publicity again. So that was really great publicity for Ambazonia. Next, we'll take you to the Central African Republic.
Tired of waiting in long lines at the emergency room or your doctor's office? You should be. Why wait in long lines for care? It's time for you to come to Lucille Urgent Care. Real care, no waiting. Lucille Urgent Care, the best place for true and loving care. Service at Lucille Urgent Care is convenient, fast, time efficient, affordable, accessible, transparent, and cost effective. Real treatment is your right. Indeed, it's not just a privilege or pejorative. Skip the emergency room's long lines, kiss the ER goodbye, say farewell to your old doctor's office, pay less, save time, enjoy the excitement of convenience, receive immediate treatment, get the healthcare you need quickly and affordably. Lucille Urgent Care offers many express services: rapid COVID-19 testing, on-site prescription, preventative lab services, imaging and x-rays, urgent medical treatment for common illnesses and injuries, routine vaccines and flu shots, work-related injury services, pre-employment, occupational, annual, and sports physicals, immigration exams, and much more. Same-day treatment, rapid lab results, extended hours, weekend hours, no appointment necessary, no insurance necessary, no doctor necessary, walk-ins accepted, telemedicine available. We are open 7 days a week with evening and weekend hours. We are located in Maryland. Lucille Urgent Care, 903 Half York Road, Towson, Maryland, 21204. Website, lucilleuc.com. Call at 443-275-1286 or 301-593-4897.
The news today, I think, because of the Italy-Africa Summit, Assange Touadera, the president of Central African Republic, was in Rome to attend this summit. So he made time to meet with Pope Francis at the Vatican. They spoke about diplomacy and peace, because peace is what is really needed in that country. But is Assange Touadera a peacemaker? We don't think so. He's a power monger, so we don't think peace can really return to his country. He's meeting the Pope. The Pope is going to give him some advice, but is he going to listen? Well, he may listen, but he may choose not to take this advice, because his country needs the return to peace. The people are suffering, but his country now is in the Russian orbit. But already he's not satisfied with the Russians. He has started bringing the Americans. So it looks like Assange Touadera is looking for new friends. What Russia is giving him is not enough. He's selling all his natural resources to Russia. The country is left with nothing, but the war goes on. He's just happy to be protected as president. So it's really sad. Then what about Burkina Faso? Well, Burkina Faso is making closer ties to Russia obvious. We've been talking about the Wagner Group's presence in Burkina Faso. This time, Ibrahim Traoré, the new junta chief, was presenting the gifts from Putin, gifts of grain. Papa Putin, thanks for the grain you've given us. Well, some of you guys were saying that, oh, Prince Ojong, you like to criticize Ibrahim Traoré. When I say criticism, I look at the good side and I look at the bad side. I'm not just talking about the bad side. I'm saying that it's a good thing, he's a young leader, but he needs to be given some lessons so that he should know what to do. So many coup d'etats have been organized against him since he took power. And more coup d'etats will be organized. So the only way he can stay in power is to do things that are popular with the people. Okay? Right now, the people are getting tired. They gave him enough time to resolve the issues, but they don't seem to see any positive signs. Now, Russia is giving him grain. Do you think the grain is for free? No, you have to pay for it. So don't expect things for free. And that's a message we share with Africans. Foreign countries will give you stuff, and you think they are giving you stuff for free. Then the next time when they ask you for a pound of flesh, you get angry. Isn't that dumb? That's dumb. Next, we take you to Congo DRC. Now that we're done with the fake election of Felix Tshisekedi, at least we have a bright light. Yes, China says, let there be light. A Sino hydroelectricity company is electrifying a large area of Kinshasa. They're building a power plant just to supply electricity to the masses. We say this is a good project and we salute it. Thank you very much, Felix Tshisekedi. Next, we'll take you to Kenya. In Kenya, we have a major story of international proportions. A high court in Kenya challenged the constitutionality of the send police to Haiti for peacekeeping. So this is the major story that has taken place in Kenya. Of course, you guys know Haiti is what we used to call Hispaniola, Little Spain. On the left side, you have Haiti. On the right side, you have Dominican Republic. Haiti became independent in 1804. Slave revolts. Haiti used to be a French colony. So it is the first black republic to become free under Toussaint Louverture and then General Dessalines. Okay? But Haiti has always had problems, a lot of problems. They have been taking place, a lot of problems. But now the gang violence is going through the roof. Juvenal Moïse, the prime minister, was killed in funny circumstances. He was in his bedroom and thugs went into the bedroom and killed him. So the story is so dramatic. You guys heard this in 2021. Since then, Ariel Henry took over as the prime minister. But Guy Philippe, another drug felon, is challenging him. So Haiti has been caught by drug violence. So do you think the police of Kenya can solve this problem? We don't think so. Even though the court of Kenya is saying it's unconstitutional for the police to serve in this role, we also agree that the police are not equipped. Police should be peacekeepers. This role looks like a role that is more fit for military personnel. So we are happy the rule of law is reigning in Kenya. We sympathize with Haiti, but we think the Haitians should try to increase the size of their army. But another problem that is really happening in Haiti is the undercurrents. Haiti is a major point where they move drugs. The drugs have to come to America. So from there, they can take this thing to Florida. Look at where Haiti is situated on the map. The United States of America is not far from there. So when the drugs come from South America, Haiti becomes the ship point. From there, the hub. From there now, the drugs are transited into the United States. So the criminal element is always going to be there. You're going to be fighting all these big gangs. Do the police in Kenya want to be caught in the crossfire of this gang warfare? No. We think this situation should be handled by the United Nations, and the United States can look into it. Then they can handle it better. Kenya, sit back on this one. The problem you should even be worrying about in Kenya is femicide, the killing of women. So there are so many stories that women are being killed, they are being raped, and there are protests about this going on every day. And these are the major stories we're getting you from Kenya. What about Mali?
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Mali is part of the Sahel. They had a coup d'etat, a counter coup. Assimi Goïta is the chief of this junta. But it looks like in 2015, a peace agreement was signed between the government and the rebels. Algeria played a major role in this peace process. But it looks like the government of Assimi Goïta takes a dim look at the activities of Algeria. Algeria seems to be supporting the rebels and not really the government. So the government is saying, nah. We don't want Algeria anymore in the mix. Okay? Then Mali is also saying they want to move out of ECOWAS because the sanctions are biting. The average person in Mali is suffering, so they want to get rid of these sanctions. What about Nigeria? Nigeria is where we have the major story. The story that I like the most, which I've seen in Nigeria this week, is Professor Bilal. Professor Bilal is a physics professor, but he moonlights as a welder. As a result, he's becoming self-sufficient. I read this story on BBC, and I like the story, and I like to share it with you. So this is what happens when you can use your skills. Instead of saying, I'm a white-collar guy, I'm a happy professor, he goes out and dirties his hands, works as a welder. I hear a professor in Nigeria makes between $350 to $500 a month. But with this welding business, Professor Bilal has grown his wealth, and he's doing far better. He has just bought a new Mercedes, and he has a lot of apprentices. We think this is a story of self-reliance. We love it and we encourage it. Bola Tinubu, it looks like, as they say in Shakespeare, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Oil theft is a big story in Nigeria. I don't know how else to put it. We have a video to share with you to show you the way we hear water is even cheaper than oil. It's a lot more expensive to buy water in Nigeria than buying oil because thieves, they say over 50% of the population feeds on stolen oil. So the people go in where they have these pipes. They break into the pipes at night, steal the crude, take it into the bush and process it. Then they sell it. So you have local petrol stations everywhere in Nigeria, from what I'm told. We'll have a video we want you to watch, which tells the story. Watch this video for a minute.
This is a country that the oil barons hate, because here every family runs a gas station. Half of the country's people steal oil every day. Their oil prices are half the normal market price, no more than $1 per liter, even cheaper than a bottle of water. This amazing country is Nigeria, located in Africa, and if you need to refuel your car, you just have to look for the street vendors to get it done. And their product is premium 91 gasoline that has been refined from crude oil. So where exactly does this ridiculously cheap oil come from? Nigeria is Africa's #1 oil producer and exporter, and gasoline thieves come to the regular crude oil plants in the dead of night, where they steal oil from the pipelines, fill their boats, and then hide in the mangroves during the day to refine the stolen crude. Refining high-purity oil is not difficult. A simple distillation method is usually sufficient, and the gasoline thus refined is of high quality. But the distillation method is a very dangerous job. The workers can't wear clothes, and as long as there is a little static electricity in the process, it may cause an explosion. So the workers here are basically making money with their lives. Although the local government cracks down on private oil refining, they have no way to govern it because this industry feeds almost half of the country's people. And from crude oil theft to gasoline refining, processing, and trafficking, these private refineries have formed a complete industrial chain. These forces are so entrenched that the government has no way to stop them. This behavior of stealing oil is not worth promoting, and people should never imitate it.
Thank you for watching the video about oil theft. When they steal oil, so it means that the government doesn't have enough revenue. So the government doesn't know what to do about it, because over 50% of the citizens are participating in this underground economy. So this is really sad, okay? Next, we'll take you to South Africa. South Africa is the country that took Israel to the International Criminal Court of Justice at The Hague. We've heard the rulings, at least the preliminary rulings. They are in favor of South Africa. All hail Cyril Ramaphosa. This is good news. But what is not good about this ruling is a judge, Judge Julia from Uganda, was the only judge, an African, at this court to rule in favor of Israel. In fact, Yoweri Museveni, the president of Uganda, has even said Uganda doesn't take this position. Uganda believes in a two-state solution in Palestine. Why is Judge Julia very controversial? Why did she decide to strike everything and support Israel? Did Israel bribe her? That's the question most of you are asking me. I don't know. This judge is enjoying a second term at The Hague. When your country sends you to The Hague, you should represent your country. Why are you in favor of Israel? Judge Julia. Judge Julia is a disgrace, and Uganda has disowned her, and this is where we come to the end of our show. How can we have a United States of Africa if we have people like Judge Julia who do not support their country? Yoweri Museveni, the president of Uganda, is unhappy with this behavior. And for once, we side with him because he's doing the right thing. We have to support a two-state solution in Palestine. Good luck, brothers and sisters. May God bless you.
Now more than ever, it is critical that medical facilities utilize modern, reliable electronic health records. Introducing Alexia HTC, the innovative, affordable online solution for physicians and patients. Doctors' visits, diagnoses, prescriptions, and billing have never been easier. With Alexia HTC, you can work more efficiently with the integrated flexibility medical professionals need today. Schedule a live demonstration. Call or visit us at alexiahtc.com.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.